Welcome to the show. I'm glad to have you guys here on this Wednesday, May 24th, 2023. Thank you for tuning in. Now, you know what? Back in 2011, we went through a United States debt crisis. It was really bad. And what it led to was markedly... it says right here, the crisis sparked the most volatile week for the financial market since the 2008 crisis, with the stock market trending significantly downward. But this was the debt crisis of 2011. And what do we got now? Things are not looking good at all. You remember I gave you guys odds? I said 40% chance that they wouldn't get it resolved in time, and a 60% chance they would. I'm changing that. It's looking worse than that now. It's looking quite a bit worse. Let's get in there and take a look at this. Debt ceiling talks stall. Now I just want you guys to take note. Looking at the days on the calendar that we have left right now, today's the 24th of the month, 24th of May. And debt ceiling talks stall amid revolt from Kevin McCarthy's right-hand flank. The roller coaster debt ceiling talks are back at a stalemate. So, I mean, look at this. On the chart here, I see we only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days left. 1 week left. Do you know how quick a week goes by? And they're stalled, stalemated. It says full-throated efforts by the most conservative members of Kevin McCarthy's caucus to preemptively kill any bipartisan deal. So they're gonna hold the line. This is what that looks like. They're gonna hold the line, and it looks like the White House is right in there too. They're gonna hold the line. Everybody's holding the line. What they're saying? They're saying, quote unquote, "I don't care about the negotiations going on at the White House," he added. The GOP's internal dynamics have a direct effect on the talks. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy abruptly shifted his tone on Tuesday, just hours after the optimistic comments from the Oval Office. Late Tuesday night, lead member McCarthy's negotiating team told reporters that talks were now off unless they see a fundamental change from the White House. So what are we going to see that change from the White House? It looks to me like the White House is going to hold the line too. It says the conservative rebellion of a mirror of sorts to what President Biden is confronting on his left flank, with many Democratic lawmakers similarly skeptical about concessions. The unrest on both fringes is raising new questions, not just if a deal can be struck, but whether it could even pass Congress in time to avoid a potential default on June 1st. For now, many in the business world are still planning for a compromise. So everybody out there saying, "Oh, this is a nothing burger. They always make a deal at the last minute. This is a nothing burger." Well, listen, guys, not this time. Looks like this time it's not a nothing burger. But everybody's going to get caught with their pants down because everybody's expecting it to be a nothing burger. It says here, most people on Wall Street think that cooler minds will prevail. In other words, they won't let this happen. Until it happens. We're right on the edge. But what happens first? You guys are probably wondering out there, what happens when June 1st comes and passes, and they still haven't got a deal, and they're still wrangling on this thing? What then? Does the world suddenly come to a stop and the financial system completely crash down on us? No, it doesn't work quite like that. June 1st is when they start to run out of money. But they can still pay their bills. They can shuffle the bills around. Pay the more needed ones. Shut down some things that they don't really absolutely need. And they can stretch it out longer. But as this thing progresses, like if it doesn't get solved by June 1st, say they run a month late to July 1st, when they hit that date, that's when they start to hit the bills that are really important that they need to be paid, that they don't have the money for if the debt ceiling doesn't go through. And as the months progress, each successive month that they go deeper into this thing, the more bills they can't pay, the more things that they have to decide, who are we going to pay? We're going to pay them over here or over here, because they don't have enough money to go around at that point, like if it progresses. But I think the longest it's ever progressed is just a matter of weeks. It's never went for months before, And so this could be a new paradigm where if they just can't get something through. What happens is when they can't get it through and they pass the deadline, and they move into that uncharted territory, tremendous pressure then comes on the politicians to get something passed. And as things intensify, the more pressure. And so they probably will get something through. I'm putting the odds pretty high as the pressure really starts to hit them. But I think they're going to pass this deadline. And then there's the U.S. creditworthiness we have to consider. Our U.S.'s credit rating that we have to consider as well. So there's a lot into this. There's a lot riding on this. And we are already seeing it happen right now in the markets. Let's get in there and take a look at the markets. We're taking a look at silver right now at $23.14. It's down 29 cents. Gold is down $6.60 at $19.69. Boy, that was a good year. 1969. Oh, the 20th century was really so much better than the 21st century. And what's ruining things for us in the 21st century is things like war, things like disease, things like weather phenomenon, just all kinds of garbage that we've had to wade through ever since 2020. Anyway, moving on, taking a look at cryptocurrency today. We're looking at a Bitcoin price of 26,106 and Ethereum at 1789. Now looking at the Dow Jones. I got to refresh the page. It's down 240 points. And what do you think's making this go down? They're starting to get worried. And so this is actually front-running what they see as possibly them going over the June 1st deadline. Right now, they're already starting to say, hey, they're getting nervous. They're saying, hey, and a lot of them are saying, oh, they'll never let it go like that. They'll pass something at the last minute, most of them. But if there's few of them are saying, well, maybe they won't. They read that article I read this morning, or some article similar to that, because there's plenty of those articles out there that tell you, and they all tell you the same thing, that there's no bipartisan support to get anything done right now in Washington. In other words, they're deadlocked on this thing. And they could be deadlocked for the next 6 months on this thing before finally they're forced by whatever to make some sort of a deal. But this is the worst deadlock I've ever seen in this. And I've been covering this story for 7 years or so, and I'm covering it for a very long time, and this is the worst one I've seen. And I've seen a few of them. This is the worst deadlock I've seen, where there's no bipartisan support to pass something to get it through. Taking a look now at crude oil, $74.34. It's up $1.43. Taking a look now at bonds and rates, we're seeing the long end is the long end's basically not moving. At 30 years at 3.94. A little bit of movement on the 10-year to the upside. That's very marginal. It's at 3.7 on the 10-year today. But we've seen a lot of movement up lately in the bond market. Yields have been rising, and the U.S. 10-year is heading toward 4%. Taking a look at the dollar index today, 103.79 on the dollar index, and it's going up today. Thank you guys for listening to my show. I know it's been a little bit of a short show today, 10 minutes. But most of the biggest story out there right now is how close we're getting to this debt ceiling. And, I mean, are they going to let us slip down a slippery slope? I think so. Will the U.S. credit rating be downgraded? Possibly. Will the market start to collapse after they go past that deadline? Probably. And what do I give the odds of it going past that deadline now at this point? A lot higher than I gave it a week or two ago when I gave you guys the odds. I said 60-40. Now I'm going to maybe switch that around. And instead of 60% that they're going to get something through, a 60% chance they won't. And a 40% chance they will before the deadline. I think they're going to step over the deadline here on this. But that doesn't mean doomsday. But it means we're entering into that area where we're treading toward doomsday. So doomsday doesn't immediately occur when they go over the line. They just have to start shutting down the first initial programs within government, the cheaper things, cutting out the deadwood a little bit while they try to get a deal through. But they start running out of money really fast into June. The deeper you go into June, the more money, then the more programs are going to have to start thinking about, hey, can we pay this? Because we haven't got enough money in the treasury account or whatever. Because they've been working on that, what they call, they have a pool of money they put away each time they raise the debt ceiling. And they've been working through that, and that's called extraordinary measures. And they've been working through that, and we're still in the extraordinary measures until the end of this week. And then they start to really run out of money. And they're not like your budget for your house. They spend money like it's going out of style. I mean, they can be down to their last $30 billion, and 2 days later they got nothing left. That's how they spend money. Anyway, okay, we'll catch you guys in the next show, and have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.